big fear for many people related to artificial intelligence is robots are going to take over jobs from humans.
Honestly, some jobs are going to be lost, right? That happens in every sector, unfortunately. Look at like manufacturing in the United States. Some jobs they're never coming back, and they're no longer needed. But that doesn't mean all jobs are going away. I'm actually working with several universities internationally to figure out what is the future of work. A lot of people always talk about, well, given the rise of technology, we need more computer programmers, architects, machine learning guys, AI guys, blockchain guys, data scientists. For sure, we're going to need that, without a doubt. The future of work's going to require a lot of collaboration, a lot of good interpersonal skills, negotiation, communication, critical thinkers that can do those kind of thought exercises where we proactively think about what's going to happen, like with self-driving cars, as well as people that are creative, imaginative, because it's all going to be about that, that experience. And so I think there's going to be a huge demand for people that are skilled in philosophy and the arts. And that's something a lot of people actually don't talk about.
So today, what should I be learning? What should I be studying?
I think the foundational knowledge in computer science, right? Not a full-blown, you don't have to go a full-blown programmer, but understanding how coding works, how computers function, is going to be just as fundamental as reading, writing, arithmetic. But I think the soft skill development is going to be a must-have. We're becoming more and more collaborative in terms of the type of work. And if you don't have good interpersonal skills, you can't communicate your message, you're not going to go very far. And then creativity, the critical thinking, how can you imagine products of tomorrow, services of tomorrow without that capability, right? It's not just going to magically come to us, and AI is right now nowhere near smart enough for telling us the next cool thing.
For every old world job or manufacturing job lost, is there an exponential effect on the jobs of the future?
It's a great question. I don't think it's not really a one-to-one, and it's not going to be industry specific, right? There's whole new industries being thought of right now that will become the hot areas 10 years from now. By the same token, some of these old world industries, they're going to lose a lot of jobs very quickly. We're talking about self-driving cars. I believe the United Nations put out a report saying that the overall net impact of automated cars, some jobs get created, some jobs get lost, but the impact's going to be about 60 million jobs lost worldwide. Right? It's like, okay, we don't need taxi drivers, we don't need truck drivers. We're going to make less cars, right? So you need less auto manufacturers, less supplies, but then you think about the ecosystem around it. The truck stop diners, the motels, all these things that, where people would stop off as transportation drivers, you don't need those things anymore. So what are you going to do with them? You can't just say, well, if you're not a taxi driver, you can just slot in as, physician's assistant. Right? You also can't tell someone if they're 50 years old, married with a couple of kids, that, hey, guess what? You can go back to school for 6 years to get that job of tomorrow. So we have a short runway right now to try and retrain most, unfortunately not all, but most of the existing workforce and retrain the workforce of tomorrow. Don't wait for someone to tell you what the jobs of tomorrow are going to be. Define it, right? Figure it out. That's actually what I'm doing with this consortium of universities, is that you don't need to wait till all these cool AI tools come out and see what happens and then figure it out. We got to be proactive. We have to think about where that more complex work's going to be.
As you look across the vocational horizon, are there more gigs or more bosses?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a really good question, Tim. More than likely, I think it's going to be more gigs, right? It's all going to be about the work that we're doing, and I think you're going to see it's going to be more entrepreneurial, and it's more going to be about ourselves as a brand and the value, the skills, knowledge, experience that we can bring to bear in a variety of different places. A real simple example is there's a startup company called Legalmation, started by 3 lawyers. They've built an AI lawyer that can look at discovery information, do interrogatories, deposition questions, file the paperwork. They can essentially do what an associate lawyer probably spends 6 to 8 hours doing in 2 minutes. Does that mean we don't need associate lawyers anymore? Not at all. What we're really doing is we're removing a very tedious administrative task off their plate, freeing up their time to do more meaningful work. Now they can actually see more clients. They can spend more time with each client. They can spend more time thinking about case strategy, jury selection, much higher value add tasks. That, I think, is what's really going to happen. It's not that we're going to lose just all these jobs and we're all going to wonder what to do and sit around binge watch Game of Thrones. I think it's actually going to lead us to do much higher order, more complex types of work.